Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, I've got the good fortune to be with Tom Kaiser. Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, good to be here.
It is good to have you. So let's go. You've had an interesting career. Let's go back in time. How did you get started?
Well, depends on where you want to start. But let me start with this. I was in the Air Force for 5 years as a KC-135 navigator. And when I got out of the Air Force, I wanted to sell something, and I wanted to sell something that was expensive. And it took me to a company called Arkwright Mutual Insurance Company. And they interviewed me. The guy who interviewed me was a B-29 pilot, and the number 2 was a F-105 pilot. And we talked airplanes, and they hired me. And that's how I got started in my business career.
Well, thank you for your service, and congratulations on the start. Tell everybody what you're doing now.
Well, now I'm basically an investor, an option trader. And I work with Masterful Coaching on helping companies really start to ramp up their revenue engine and enhance their sales activities and their ability to generate revenue.
Okay, so for the purposes of this show, we'll put the investor and option trader aside, and we're going to talk about Masterful Coaching. So how did you end up at Masterful Coaching?
A good friend of mine, Robert Hargrove, and I wrote a book about 15 years ago called The Great Wheel of Sales Success, which we changed to the revenue engine. And Robert Hargrove is the principal at Masterful Coaching. So it was through the experience of writing the book with him and knowing him for 15 years that I decided to join that firm and try to deliver the compelling revenue engine message that you can increase your revenue without spending a lot of money.
Well, more sales without spending a lot of money on the marketing, music to a lot of our listeners' ears. Who is an ideal client for Masterful Coaching?
Well, I think any company that has starved the idea that everybody should be in sales. Because what we do is we try to work with the company to help them understand that if they get a customer front from everyone, and everyone accepts the responsibility to be in sales and to be promoting their products, and I say a simple phrase, to get and keep customers at a profit, they can enhance their revenue considerably without spending a lot of money. But it's an attitude shift and one that you have to work on constantly to make happen.
Absolutely. There are folks who have some preconceived negative associations with sales or don't think of themselves as a salesperson. Hey, I'm a designer or I'm a copywriter. I'm not in external sales. How do you change that mindset?
Well, let me give you an example from my business. When I was in the insurance business, we had salespeople who went out and tried to gin up customers. And we had underwriters that sat back at their desk waiting for the salesperson to bring a prospect into them so they could underwrite the risk. So the change in attitude that we're trying to accomplish to say those underwriters need to be out there too. Because if they develop relationships, if they let everybody know that they want to underwrite the business, you're going to have a 2-prong attack that's going to increase your revenue without much of without spending a lot more money. And this goes that you can see this pattern in a lot of businesses. For example, we encourage companies' CFOs to develop relationships with key customer CFOs, just so there's that connection. We're not making them salespeople. We're in a way making them relationship managers so that they have a pulse on what's going on within that client's company.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because when you first toss out the idea that everyone should be in sales, I'm sure you've experienced some pushback from that. But when it's, hey, our CFO should talk to their CFO, that makes total sense. And I could totally see that would be much easier to get everyone on board with. I know you've engineered some amazing results for some of those clients. Can you give us an example of like what one of those companies was trying to accomplish when they joined Masterful Coaching, and then kind of what the magical transformation was you were able to pull off?
But one of the things that we do and is run what we call a collab lab, where we get key people together and we get them focused. First, we call it a scan. Let's see what it is you're trying to accomplish. We encourage them to develop an overarching goal, something way beyond what they think they can do. And then once we get through with the scan, we do a focus. How do you solve this problem? How do you make it work? And then the final day, we basically just focus on the things that they're going to do to implement and follow through on what this big, advanced, impossible goal is. And we've done this with several companies with quite a bit of success. Companies include Estee Lauder, they include State Street Bank, they include a lot of companies in the East, because that's where Masterful Coaching started its.
Are those how does it work? Is this on Zoom? Is this a membership where they're going online and watching videos? Are you going out in person? How does the coaching process work?
Well, the coaching process is on Zoom. The Collab Lab is in person. And follow-up can be either in person or on Zoom. There's a lot of different ways in which we engage and try to engage with the customers.
What is the most common reason why clients are hiring you at Masterful Coaching?
Well, I think the most is an executive or somebody wants to be coached. And, there's a big difference between coaching and managing. And, a coach, the prime thing about a coach is the coach wants you to win, where a manager doesn't necessarily want you to win. So that attitude shift is helpful to a lot of people, because now you start talking about what it is they need to do to win at what they're trying to accomplish, instead of trying to manage on some metrics that are removed or not right on the target of what they're trying to accomplish.
So you said they want to be coached. What problem do I have where I'm saying I need some help, some coaching around this that would lead me to look for you?
Well, I think you know that you want to accomplish something. You don't really want to go and ask people within your organization. Yet you want to have a sounding board or someone to talk to about what it is you're trying to accomplish that will give you ideas and listen, and also bring in other avenues that you can explore to try to find the success you're looking for.
Is there a particular industry, company revenue size, number of team members that make a client ideal for you?
The ideal client is the one with the right attitude. The people who understand they need to align their organization, they have to have a common and shared values and goals, and they need to stretch to go after them, and they need to have a constant follow-up to make sure that they stay on track. If they have that, then the coaching can really help them. It gets a little bogged down when the alignment's not there. And I always use the example, if you've got 4 powerful horses pulling a wagon, if they all decide to pull in different directions, you don't have a wagon anymore.
is there, I could have the right attitude and be a solo practitioner and I could be broke. So is there a particular industry that you've had more success in? Is there a company size or team member size that start to make sense to work with you?
I think where the product is easily defined and the marketplace, and it needs some help because of changing circumstances, is a perfect client for us. So a company who has been very successful and all of a sudden hits a wall is a great client for us. A product that's old and tired and maybe needs to be looked at again is a good client for us. And there's a lot of these companies around that hit the wall. There's some...
Absolutely. What are your passion? I mean, it's obvious how much you care. What do you like best about what you're doing?
Well, I think the best reward for me is to see people break out of their shell and become successful, and to basically go from 0 to 100 miles an hour because we've given them some new ideas and a new road to travel. Another thing I like to always say is Alice in Wonderland said that, well, I think it was the Cheshire Cat said that if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And part of the consulting is to help you get on the right road and keep going there.
That makes a lot of sense. For our folks who want to learn more about you and Masterful Coaching, where is the best place for them to go?
Well, they go to the website, masterfulcoaching.com. In fact, the Revenue Engine book is a downloadable ebook that we give away. So they can learn a little bit about us just by picking up that book and going through it. And I'll guarantee you, we'll give them some tips on how to be a better salesperson or how to be a better sales organization.
Awesome. So that website is masterfulcoaching.com. Go download the Revenue Engine book. Tom, what do you do? I know you talked about being an investor and being an options trader. What got you into that?
15 years ago, I got out of the insurance business, and I've been in the insurance business almost 35 years, and underwriting and option trading are very similar. It's a bit of risk management, a bit of understanding the premiums that are paid or the premiums that you're paying. And that's what got me into it. And I found out that it was so similar that I didn't have a big learning curve.
That's awesome. What do you do for fun in your spare time?
I do a lot of things. I have 2 dogs. I have a farm that keeps me busy. And right now I'm in Miami and enjoying being out of the winter, which is setting into the Northeast.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. For our folks watching or listening, again, go check Tom out at masterfulcoaching.com. Tom, thank you again for joining us.
Well, thank you, Seth.
Thank you, everybody, for watching or listening. We'll talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.